From the whispering winds atop majestic mountain peaks to the rhythmic dance of leaves in a secluded forest, nature's influence on our well-being is nothing short of enchanting. According to the KOA, 92 million Americans considered themselves as campers in 2022. According to the U.S. National Park Service, over 327 million Americans visited national parks in 2019. The Outdoor Foundation's 2020 Outdoor Participation Report indicated that over 50 million Americans participated in hiking in 2019. It seems that millions of Americans, myself included, agree that being in nature is good for you. Studies have shown that spending time in nature not only increases the serotonin levels in your brain, the chemical that makes you feel good, but it also decreases your cortisol levels, or your stress hormone. In fact, something as simple as sitting among trees in the woods can have a noticeable effect on our mental and physical health. What is it about nature that makes it such a remarkable haven? Nature isn't always nurturing, after all. Aside from the innumerable species of wild animal capable of hunting you, being in nature comes with its own risks. Exposure to extreme temperatures, wildfires, tornadoes, hurricanes, and hail are just to name a few. And yet, we find that being in nature is more than worth the risk. For some, family camping trips or weekend day hikes are a must. So, going back to our question, what is it about nature that is so compelling? Perhaps the answer lies in the beauty of nature itself. In her posthumous work, The Sense of Wonder, Rachel Carson observed that those who contemplate the beauty of the earth find reserves of strength that will endure as long as life lasts. The Scottish-born American conservationist John Muir said that the clearest way into the universe is through a forest wilderness. Ralph Waldo Emerson remarked that the creation of 1,000 forests is in one acorn. Emerson's ideas would go on to become the defining principles of transcendentalism, a philosophy defined by its belief in the inherent goodness of nature and the divine presence in all things. Emerson believed that nature was not just a physical reality, but also a spiritual experience that could lead individuals to a deeper understanding of the divine. He believed in the interconnectedness of all living things, a unity of spirit that linked humans to the natural world. In the 1840s, Henry David Thoreau, a transcendentalist thinker like Emerson, spent 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days living in a secluded cabin by Walden Pond in Concord, Massachusetts. Commenting on his time spent at Walden Lake, Thoreau remarked that the innocence and beneficence of nature, of sun and wind and rain, of summer and winter, such cheer, such health they afford forever. Shall I not have intelligence with the earth? Am I not partly leaves and vegetable mold myself? I have fond memories of canoeing along Michigan's Saubal River in the summers when I was a kid. Oftentimes, my friends and I would lay back in our canoes and we would lay down and let the river take us wherever it willed. I felt that same indescribable oneness like Emerson and Thoreau felt. I felt this oneness permeating throughout the water and the trees and the sky and the earth around me. Somehow and in some way, it all felt connected. Like Emerson and like Thoreau, we too oftentimes feel a sense of awe and wonder when we feel the connectedness of nature. Blaise Pascal, writing in the 17th century, shares his experience of this with us. However much we may inflate our conceptions beyond these imaginable spaces, Pascal says, we give birth only to atoms with respect to the reality of things. It is an infinite sphere whose center is everywhere and circumference is nowhere. Pascal here not only paints a picture of the immensity of the universe, but he also shows us how incapable we are of ever fully comprehending it. He doesn't stop there. Even the smallest of things for Pascal are incapable of being grasped. Let him examine the most delicate things he knows, Pascal says. A mite with its minuscule body shows him incomparably more minute parts. Let him divide these last things again and again until he exhausts his powers of conception, and let the final object to which he can now arrive be the object of our discourse. So we can neither fully grasp nor can we fully know those things which are big, they're above and beyond us, as Pascal says. Likewise, we can neither fully grasp nor can we really fully know those things which are indivisibly small and beneath us. And yet, at the very least, we can say that we know ourselves, or we know that we exist, right? As Descartes put it, I think, therefore I am. While we might not understand those two extremes between which we live, we can know the middle of things. And we know the middle of things because, well, we are the middle of things. So it must be the case, Pascal reasoned, that just as I know that I exist because I am known, so too can I know that those two extremes exist because they too are known. All things, Pascal says, come from nothingness and are swept toward the infinite. Who can follow these astonishing proceedings? The author of these wonders understands them. No one else can. For Pascal, the thing that gave explanation or meaning to nature was God. Whether it be a transcendental divine presence, a universal consciousness, or a personal creator, the experience Pascal was faced with begged for there to be an explanation to it. And he wasn't the only one either. Isaac Newton, one of the founding fathers of the scientific revolution, remarked that this most beautiful system of sun, planets, and comets could only proceed from the counsel and dominion of an intelligent and powerful being. Louis Pasteur said that the more I study nature, the more I stand amazed at the work of its creator. These great thinkers, poets, philosophers all had one thing in common. When confronted with the immensity of nature, they could feel not just the power of nature, but they could feel the power of that which created and sustains it. Perhaps, however, Pascal was wrong. It very well may be the case that our response to natural landscapes may have only been selected as an adaptive trait. A preference for certain environments, such as lush green landscapes or open spaces, could have provided survival advantages for our ancestors. Some may argue that nature is only beautiful because we culturally have deemed it that way, and there is no beauty that is necessarily intrinsic or inherent in nature. For me, however, Pascal's words are profound. I'll never forget the first time I saw Saturn through a telescope. That massive planet just silently floating across the night sky as the Earth slumbered. I felt small compared to something so vast. Regardless of your predisposition, presuppositions, or ultimate conclusions about the natural world, the beauty that the Earth unfurls for us is undeniable. So the next time you find yourself hiking on a mountain trail or letting the gentle pull of a river take you, remember to pause, be present, and marvel at the work of art around you. Love you all, and have a good night.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Nate.
And I'm Adam.
And this is For the Love of It.
If you liked today's video, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on new content that we post on a regular basis.
For even more great conversations, check us out on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
You can also check us out on Instagram or TikTok.
As always, love you all.